The majority of the photographs that are being shown, is this from your God's America or Gods of America project?
Yeah, all of them.
All of them.
It was probably 7 years, a bit more perhaps, but working in the field, it was a 7-year work. I produced around 60 images. Most of them are here. I think we have 56 here.
Right, right. And so I'm going to be a little bit broad at first, just to give everyone an idea of you as a photographer and your interests in why we're here tonight. So are you able to just tell us a little bit about yourself as a photographer and what has kind of, if you can in a nutshell, gone into forming you as a photographer and your interests, your body?
Yeah. You know, I started with photography when I was 8 years old. My uncle gave me my first camera. It was a hobby at the beginning. I didn't think to study photography because I thought anyone could make photos. I was really making photos since I was very young. So I had some other passions I wanted to study. I wanted to study biology because I love nature, plants, animals, everything. But at the middle of my career, I started making portraits of people in the countryside, out of the city, in the farm or very remote villages. And when I started making portraits, then my life changed. Because biology became second passion and photography became the first.
Right.
And especially photographing people, it is what I like to do normally.
Well, and it's interesting though, because especially also reading, your summaries of your various projects and exhibitions that you've had in the years past, they do have a very common thread, not only of, this interest in people and anthropology and also indigenous communities, but this sense of God being in the human being, being in the person, and that God is also found in nature.
Because I was studying biology, and scientists are very square-minded, and me too, I was very atheist, but then I went to India, and it changed my life also, because I found they can see God everywhere, and I like very much the spiritual life we have. Because I thought that people is much happier than us. They could be happy with very simple things. They are finding God everywhere, every time. And then I started, because of that trip to India, I started focusing in the, not exactly religion, but devotion. I found that everywhere where human beings are, there is a devotion, there is a sense of sacredness. So once, around the year 2000, I decided to join that two passions. I wanted to see how is their devotion, because I know they have gods, but they are gods of nature.
Right.
So I wanted to make a proposal for the graphic images for that gods of nature, because it could be, as I told you, to join my three passions, looking for devotion, portraying in nature. So that's why this is probably the most important work I have done, because I could fulfill many of my aims in one work.
So I have one more question to ask you, if we can finish with this. But the main issue for Save the Forest, Save the Culture, and the International Year of Forests is the issue of deforestation. And not only the effects on the world as a whole, but especially the effects on people who live in those environments.
In fact, it affects everyone. I like very much that they are taking into account that people who live in the forest, especially because they know how to live with the forest without destroying it. And it's something that we have to learn. There are many things that we have to learn from them, and I guess that a very important difference between them and the Western cultures is that they don't consider themselves apart from nature. They think they are part of nature, as the trees and fishes and animals. So they know we are just one piece of nature. We are not separated. The problem for us is that we consider that nature is something apart and that we can do whatever with nature and it will not affect us. But you can see there are floodings everywhere, Australia, Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela, all the countries. Now we are facing the problems of destroying our world. Exactly. Every day you have news about the consequences of our treatment to nature, especially forests. The problem is not only with forests, it is all around the world that we are destroying nature, but the forest is I would say it's a disaster because the diversity in the forest is the highest one. In the tropical forest, you have thousands of species that we even don't know them, and they will disappear. It is a problem not only for the forest itself. We should also consider that we are losing many opportunities of medicine and also the landscape itself. And finally, I think we don't have the right to destroy the earth. We are just one piece. We will live very few years in a planet that has millions of years building that fantastic nature. So we don't have the right to destroy a forest to get gold or diamonds or whatever, to build roads. There are many reasons to destroy the forest, the dams, whatever. Every time there are new and new projects destroying the Amazonian forest, the Asian forest, African forest, for many reasons, even for war. And we have to stop it very soon because the problems are that kind of ecosystems. You should think it is very rich because the diversity is very high. If we have no forest, we will have no water, no animals, no medicines, many things. So I think it's very important, and that's why I like this project, because I think we have the chance to pay attention. We have to pay attention. We now are facing the consequences of our stupidity.
Right.
So there is a chance, and it is good that this will be here at the forest. Pay attention particularly on the richness and the resources that the forest has for everyone, even for the people who live far away from the forest. We all use things that are related more or less with the forest.
Right.